G'day guys, and welcome back to another video. And today I'll be having a bit of a chat about the Cats and the Hawks game, which will be Friday night in round 2. So very close. I've done the tips for this week as well, so feel free to check those out. And obviously if you have already checked it out, you may have come to know that my tip for this game is actually the Hawks. So occasionally I do a bit of a preview for, I suppose, it might be the first game of the season or a really significant game or something like that. I thought, take today as a good opportunity to have a bit of a look at this game. We obviously don't have lots of information around injuries and whatnot, but I don't think it'll be very injury-centric based, this game. I think only when there's like lots of injuries out for one particular club, especially when these sides play, so it matters. Because most of the time, these teams just take it down to the wire and they have a really good game. So, and it's normally game plan focused, which is why I have gone with Hawthorn. Geelong, they've been a little bit, I don't want to say uninspiring, but they haven't exactly set the world on fire at the start of season 2020, dating back to their pre-season as well. Haven't really liked the way they've moved the ball. So yeah, there's a few concerns early, but again, you don't make massive judgments off one game either. So it has to be over the course of a number of games or over the course of a fair chunk of the season. But Hawthorn, I really like the way they've sort of gone about it. I think they'll definitely challenge again for the 8 this year. I think they just missed out last year. The Cats obviously finished on top. I don't see that happening this year, but hopefully the Cats just win as many games as they can without compromising player welfare too much in the form of injuries. Hawthorn, they tend to love to play a really high pressure game against the Cats, and often that's what gets us unstuck. They generally stifle the way we move the ball, and we're often chipping it around sideways and not doing a whole lot with it. But look, this game will definitely be won in the coach's box, I think, and oftentimes Clarko, I rate Clarko incredibly highly in the coach's box, especially when Hawthorn normally aren't expected to win. They tend to find a way, and they can come up with some pretty impressive results. They dismantled West Coast over in West Coast late last year as well, so they're capable of winning nearly any game, but they're also obviously capable of teams around them or just above them to beat them. So yeah, it's a weird sort of thing. They can sort of find a way whenever they want, really, or whenever they can. Sometimes teams are just a bit too good and they get on top of them. But when Clarko's in the box seat, there's upsets to be happened, and I think everyone in Australia is thinking, it's down in Geelong, down the highway, the Cats will be fine, they'll get a win. But Hawthorn, different kettle of fish, and especially how some teams have these rivalries and you just never know who could win. And especially lately, I feel like Hawks have won 2 of the last 3 from my memory. I know they got us both times in 2018, which to my stark disappointment eventuated. And I think it was 1-1 last year, so they had a fair few injuries dating back, I suppose, I think it was earlier in the year when we played them. We won by 4 goals. I think that was our home game as well. That's when Gazza took a bit of a specky in the goal square, and that was very good. But they do at times. Yeah, they stop us from being the team we wanted them to be, and yeah, it's going to come down to the midfield battle. It's obviously always big, and gosh, if Dangerfield gets tagged, I think the Cats are in a fair bit of trouble, because it seems to be Dangerfield or nothing at times. If Jack Stephen plays, that'll be significant in the result, because he's kind of like a Tim Kelly replacement almost, at full fitness and at full flight. But obviously Tim Kelly's an absolute jet and very hard to replace. So I mean, it's going to be Jack Stephen and hopefully the likes of some other youngsters. It can't always be Dangerfield and Selwood, winning in games. Otherwise the Cats will get where they've been in the last few years with inconsistent sort of finals records, I suppose, because we know generally the top end step up, but it's what the youngsters do and what they need to contribute to the team to win as well, because it's normally Richmond don't have a team of superstars, but they are a superstar team, and You know, you can date that back to so many years. The Dogs in 2016 didn't have an outstanding list, but they definitely worked well as a group, and they had the hunger mentality of, you know, pressure and stuff. And that's what's going to be big in this game. A team that can be the most composed and apply the most pressure and, you know, finish off will probably win. So, yeah, that's one thing I didn't see in round one that I was incredibly disappointed with the Cats was the pressure. The ball movement from the Giants obviously is very good on a normal day, but when you don't tackle them and there's no hands getting in the way of their ball movement, you're asking yourself for a pretty difficult assignment. You're putting the game into super hard mode. So pressure is going to be required. Hopefully there might be more pressure as a result of the conditions. It might be rainy and whatnot. It's going to be obviously quite cool conditions for round two. Probably the coldest round two you'll ever see. I can bet. So yes, it's going to be a tough game, no doubt about it. It always is for these two sides. But I genuinely think, the Hawks, they often find a way when they're not expected to. And their ball movement against the Lions at the G was, really seen, I suppose. We had Burgoyne and obviously Chad Wingard running into some open goals, and then some really good ball movement from end to end to get some scoreboard pressure on the board. And they are just efficient. They love red time goals, and they always stick around. So they're hard to I suppose absolutely pulverise, unless it's 2017 early days. But look, it's going to be a tricky game. How will the Cats go in their forward line? The ruck setup, what does that look like? Hopefully Stanley plays. I'd like to see Jenkins have a go as well. I don't want to see Jenkins, Radaglia and Hawkins because that's a bit too top heavy. But maybe that might work if it's absolutely dry and perfect conditions. But I doubt it. I'd like to see Hawkins and Jenkins play as the two mains, and Radaglia to try and find his spot, because obviously Jenkins, he can be inconsistent at times, but I'd like to persist with him for a few weeks in a row at least. And it might be 3 or 4 weeks, and if he doesn't deliver, then you can give Radaglia a go, or you just want consistency really. The forward line obviously is a big part. The midfield's going to be interesting. Hopefully it's not Dangerfield, Selwood and all the time. They want to mix it up a bit and throw in the big guys when required. So hopefully Narkle will probably get a bit of a run through there. He was good in round one. And the defence, well, keep Blitzarves down back. Please, Chris, don't lose us any more finals by putting Blitzarves in the ruck or in the wrong position. He's basically a full back. The Cats lineup looks a lot better with him at fullback. But again, the Cats defence is all dependent on the forward line and the midfield. Ironically, any side has it like that. So if the forward line pressure is poor, it's going to get to the midfield easily. If the midfield can't pressure the opposition's midfield, then it's going to make it pretty easy for their forward line and easier for scoring. So at the end of the day, it comes down to inside the contest and obviously the pressure you apply. So if they get easy looks at it, they'll get some easy results. They'll get some easy goals, and that'll make life a lot more tougher. So it's going to be a very intriguing game, and probably the last time they'll ever play at GMHBA potentially. But I normally like the Cats at GMHBA. I think we've only lost about 7 or 8 games in the last 13 years. So we don't lose there too often. By those numbers, hard to tip against us, but I have in this case. We haven't obviously played the absolute cream of the crop all the time down the highway. But look, we'll wait and see. Hopefully I'm proven wrong for this game. I'm going to go the Hawks by 2 goals, but I'm genuinely 50-50 this game because there's been at least 8 weeks off. The Cats normally don't go well after breaks, so we'll wait and see. If we're bad after 1 bye, let's see what it looks like with 8 buys put in there. But we'll wait and see. It'll be a very intriguing game, and hopefully the Cats can come out on top and get the job done. But I'm going to go the Hawks. So chuck in your thoughts down below, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe away, like the video. Keep that YouTube algorithm going. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you on the next video.